Hello friends, today we are going to learn about the topic PaaS characteristics, in which it includes all of the characteristics which it has and why it is in use. As we all know, in the cloud computing service stack, platform as a service acts as a middleware. So what are its characteristics, why it is important, and where it has been used? First thing, the major characteristics of PaaS are: first is the support for custom applications. Now, support for the development, deployment, and operation of custom applications, it is providing there in the middleware capabilities. Then, it also offers typically support born on the cloud or cloud native applications that are able to take full advantage of the scalable, elastic, and distributed capabilities of cloud infrastructure. In many cases, this is achieved without the application developer having to write special code to take advantage of these capabilities. Then, another characteristic is provision of runtime environments. Here, typically each runtime environment, it supports either one or a small set of programming languages and frameworks. For example, Node.js, Ruby, and PHP runtimes. Then, our characteristics of many platform as a service offerings is support for a range of runtime environments. That means the environment where the code developed by developer is being run or executed, rather than just one or two, in contrast to prior non-cloud middleware platforms. It also enables developers to choose the most appropriate technology for the task in hand. That means they are not restricted to two or more choices. Instead, they can explore and get the most appropriate ones for their project or the task which they have in their hand. Sometime or some things that is becoming more prevalent as polyglot environments become more accepted in the industry with platform as a service system or environments. Then the third one is rapid deployment mechanism. What rapid deployment mechanism provide here is, it is typical of many PaaS offerings to provide developers and operators with a push and run mechanism for deploying and running applications, providing dynamic allocations of resources when the application code is passed to PaaS via application programming interfaces or APIs, as we all know. Then, configuration requirements are kept to a minimum by default, although there is the capability to control the configuration if required. For example, controlling the number of parallel running instances, which we also called as horizontal scalability of an application in order to handle the anticipated workload or to meet resiliency goals. Then another characteristic is support for a range of middleware capabilities. So it includes applications have a variety of requirements, and this is reflected in the provision of a broad range of application infrastructure, also called as middleware, and supports a range of capabilities. One is the database management with both SQL and NoSQL database technologies provided there. Other capabilities include integration services, business process management, business analytics services, rules engines, event processing services, and mobile backend services. Then another characteristic is provision of services. Support for the application developer usually consists of more than just middleware. Many capabilities are provided as a series of separate services, typically invoked via an API of some kind. Then services are installed and run by the provider of the cloud service, removing responsibility from the cloud service customer. Another thing which it include is the example in the case of a database service, the responsibility for ensuring availability and reliability for having replicas and backups of the database data, for securing the data and so on, all falls on the service provider. Provider services are an essential concept in reducing the effort and complexity in building software systems. Rather than having to install and manage some potentially complex set of software, get the capability off the shelf from the provider who is expert in installing, configuring, and managing the necessary software. Another characteristic is pre-configured capabilities. Now, what are pre-configured capabilities? Many platform as a service systems are characterized by the capabilities that are pre-configured. That means that are being there or configured before by the provider with a minimum of configuration available to the developers and customer operations staff. Then this reduces the complexity, increases productivity, and lowers the potential for unexpected problems, with capabilities simpler to manage and easier to debug. Another characteristic is API management capabilities. What does API management capability do here is, it is increasingly the case that business applications need to expose some capabilities via application programming interfaces, the API economy. In some cases, this is required by the nature of the user interface to the application. Mobile apps usually need an API so that while operating independently of the business application, they can access data and transactions when required. Another capabilities are, in other cases, part of the business solution is to enable other parties like partners, customers, suppliers, etc., to integrate their own business applications with those of the enterprises. This integration is done via an application programming interface. Providing an application programming interface, it requires a level of control so that only authorized users can access those application programming interfaces, and each user can only access those capabilities for which they have permission. Offering an application programming interface requires often or some amount of API management. That means to manage it and which API is to be given and used by the consumer. Another characteristic is security capabilities. Security is one of the most important aspects of any business solution, and so it is not surprising to find that PaaS, that means platform as a service offerings, provide built-in security capabilities, reducing the load on developers and operators to provide and manage these capabilities. Capabilities include firewall, endpoint management, secure protocol handling, access and authorization, encryption of data in motion and at rest, integrity checking, etc. Platform as a service systems can offer these capabilities with minimal or no impact on application code, simplifying the programmer's task. Another characteristics of platform as a service is tools to assist developers. That means it already provides some of the tools which help developers. They are an aim of many platform as a service systems to unify and streamline development and operations for systems. In other words, support DevOps, that means development operations, for breaking down the divisions between the developments and operations that have commonly existed in house systems. PaaS systems, that means platform as a service systems, assist the application lifecycle by providing development tools including code editors, code repositories, build tools, deployment tools, test tools, services, and security tools. Now, it is also common to find a set of application monitoring and analytics services, including capabilities such as logging, log analysis, and app usage analytics and dashboard. Another characteristic here is operations capabilities in platform as a service systems. Here, PaaS systems assist operators through operations capabilities both for the applications and for the PaaS system itself via dashboards and commonly via APIs, that means application programming interfaces, that enable customers to plug in their own operations toolsets. So, for example, capabilities to increase or decrease the number of running instances of an application are common to deal with varying application load. In some cases, handled by automated services that vary the number of instances based on a set of rules established by the customer operations staff. Again, the next characteristic for platform as a service system is support for porting existing applications. So while many PaaS systems, that means platform as a service systems, are primarily designed to support born on cloud application, that means which are there developed in cloud only applications, there is recognition that customers have existing applications that can be ported to PaaS environment with resulting business benefits. Some PaaS systems have application environments that aim closely to match those available on existing non-cloud middleware stacks. However, the questions that hover over this type of application porting are whether the ported applications will function correctly and whether the application can get the best from the platform as a service environment without undergoing modifications or any kind of new updations. There is no magic bullet when it comes to porting an application from a non-cloud environment to a cloud environment. Platform as a service systems are more commonly designed with systems of engagement applications in mind rather than systems of record. Systems of engagement are those applications that are dedicated to helping end users such as customers, employees, and business partners interact with the business and with each other. This is in contrast to systems of record enterprise applications, which are the authoritative stories of enterprise data and which provide core business processes for the enterprise. Systems of engagement concentrate on providing useful and personalized capabilities for end users to interact and often involve social and communication features typically not found in more traditional systems of record enterprise applications. Platform as a service systems can be used to build applications that are often offered to the customers or other customers and users as a software as a service offerings. The requirements of software as a service applications, including scalability and the ability to handle multiple tenants, can usually be met by the cloud computing capabilities of a platform as a service system. Thank you.